In typical fashion, after victory, it's back to the workshop for Jaron "Boots" Ennis, as his recent victory puts him in a place where he knows what he needs to work on. And let it be known also that Ennis still wants the champions. Let's talk about it. Jaron Ennis had another successful outing this past Saturday, January 7th, 2022, on the undercard of Tank Davis's fight against Hector Luis Garcia. Ennis, in the co-main, proved that he is still a fighter to be reckoned with, although there may be some wrinkles that need to be ironed out. His bout against Jaron Ennis, trying to pronounce his name correctly, was something that showed the audience as well as Jaron that though he is talented, he may have some areas to address in his career. But this is not to be overly critical, because it's just a simple fact that having not gone 12 rounds before, he finally had the opportunity to do so. But against an opponent who has such great mobility that the focus now will be on how to limit one's options when in there, and not there to necessarily compete, but to survive. Most of Boots' opponents prior to this past fight have been guys who have been made to order. But as typical in boxing, as you climb the ladder of success in the sport, there will be different sorts of challenges that will assist you in becoming whole. Now that he is 30-0 with 27 KOs, Boots can look at other areas of his game to sharpen his tools before he gets the big title shot. And I do believe that title shot is coming very soon, but the more prepared he is for it, the more an opportunity to achieve the goal will be near. Jaron did not give him the type of challenge for someone to get a feel for what he can't do, but he did present what was necessary to work on: cutting the ring off better, getting body work in more, and looking to place your punches, not just to release them because you have fast hands or tremendous pop on the punches. These are the type of things that now Ennis, with 30 fights under his belt, has to display veteran observation and acknowledgement. And because I do believe he, being a student of the sport, always in the lab working, it's not going to take a great deal of time for him to recognize and optimize what the very shortcomings may be. That is what will make him a more dangerous opponent for whomever he challenges for a title. But it is also something that fighters have to understand. You can't have it all at once. There is a transition process, and the more astute one is at their game, the better off they'll be when they do get to the top. That's one of the reasons why the old trainers used to like to put them in against all types of styles. Today the adage seems to be, that's a bad style matchup for this guy or that guy. But that's not necessarily so. It's a fight. You need to learn how to deal with any style because it is a fight. And those are principles that will never change. It's the mindset and the construct of those approaching the sport that changes. But you cannot reinvent the wheel. The more capable you are of handling yourself, the more proficient you'll be in having success at what you're doing. Think about it that way. Ennis seems to have all the tools. He has good lateral movement. He has good footwork. He has really good hand speed and definitely the power on his shots. It is proven that his stamina is there. He went the 12 rounds against Karen easily. But the one thing that hasn't been tested yet is his chin. And you never want to go out there and just put your head out there in a line of a shot to test that. But you will be hit, just as he was hit in this fight and was able to come back and deliver his own shots. But Karen was not known as a puncher, so when you think about it, Jaron is the type of fighter that when he plants his feet, he can get his shots off in succession. But he now has to learn how to make adjustments on the fly. It is important because everyone is not going to be a willing dance partner, regardless of how good the footwork is in the game. So you have to be prepared and be able to adjust in the ring. There are no more questions about his endurance and stamina. He showed me exactly what he's capable of doing, which is going deep in a fight and still being able to compete at a high level. His attention did seem to wander a little bit, but it was out of the frustration of what Karen was doing to not engage. That's when your personal ring IQ has to come into fruition. Late fight power is something that will be there for Ennis because of his conditioning and his natural attributes. But what I want to see from him now is to learn to utilize the jab. The jab, the jab, the jab. Because if he can become an excellent proponent of the use of the jab, he will be one of the most fearsome fighters in present time. The reason being, the educated jab will allow him to maintain focus in a fight. Throw 30 to 35 jabs around. You can work in other shots off of that punch, but the jab should be something feared by every opponent that gets in there with heat. Do not become like Roy Jones Jr. and not use your jab when it can make the fights so much easier for you. Yes, your hands are fast. Right now, your footwork is quick. But as you age and certain attributes begin to taper off, if you keep the essentials well tooled, they will carry you through most adversity. I still see the sky as being the limit for Jaron Ennis, and there are champions he can beat right now based on his own personal physical talents. But in order to become a champion that can reign, he has to go back to the drawing board and work on the shortcomings that reared its head in this fight against Karen. And understand that that was not a negative. It's supposed to happen that way. You didn't end up on your back. You didn't end up with a bad decision. You ended up learning that you've got more to work on. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about Jaron Boots Ennis and how high do you see he achieving in the sport of boxing. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.